Hey, what is up everyone? Omogonix here and welcome to part 5 of my tutorial series where I show you guys how to make a basic horror game in Godot. So here I am in Blender today, and if you're wondering why I'm in Blender, it's because I'm going to show you guys how to actually export models from Blender into Godot. So if you do enjoy this tutorial, be sure to like, comment and subscribe for more, and let's get right into it. So before we do get started, I will get into what we're doing today. So first up, I will be showing you guys how to export models from Blender into Godot, and then I'm going to be showing you guys how to actually make keys, which you can then put into doors, so then you can open up locked doors in your game. And then, yeah, that's pretty much what I've got planned for today. I'm not sure if I've got anything else planned, but if I do, I will of course mention it later on in the video, but those are the two things that I currently have planned for this tutorial. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, and I feel like I am forgetting something right now, but again, I will bring it up again later on when I do remember it, so yeah. Also, I've been sick the past week or more as well, so do forgive me if I do sound a bit weird today. It's just because I'm sick, but I do want to still record this tutorial since, you know, I do like recording these tutorials, and I don't want to leave you guys without a tutorial for too long, so yeah, I mean, it's been over a week, I'm pretty sure, since part 4 came out, so I feel like it's only right that I do make part 5 now, so yeah. So anyways, here we are in Blender. This is a model that I have made for a game of mine called Sunnytown Murders. I've actually just recently released a trailer for it if you want to go check it out. So yeah. But anyways, so I'm going to be exporting this Blender model of mine into Godot today to show you guys how to actually export models from Blender to Godot. So what you want to do is where it says File, you want to go Export, and then GLTF 2.0. So this is the file type of models that Godot accepts. So we're going to select this. Alrighty, so now what you want to do, of course, is you want to find wherever you have your game. So my Godot horror game that I'm making for this tutorial is in a folder called Horror Game Tutorial. And then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to make a new folder, and I'm going to call this Models. And there we go. And then, boom, I'm going to save my cat model into this folder. But before I do export it, I do want to show you guys another thing. So let's say, for example, right, on certain parts of your models, you have modifiers, like a decimate modifier or a subdivide modifier. If you have any modifiers on your model that you would like to carry over into the Godot export of it, make sure on the Geometry tab when exporting the model, you select Apply Modifiers, because otherwise the modifiers won't be applied, and I had to find this out the hard way, since when actually exporting models, these models in particular, like this one for example, into my Sunnytown Murders project, I realized, like, hey, wait a minute, how come these look higher poly than what I had them originally? And then I realized it's because I didn't check apply modifiers, so then they looked more higher poly, because the decimate modifier didn't get applied. So yeah, so be sure to apply modifiers if you do have modifiers and you want them to be applied on your export. And then when you're ready, just press export, and then boom, your model will be exported to your project. So just then in particular, I'm pretty sure I didn't actually select apply modifiers, so I'm just gonna go export again since I want the modifiers to be applied. So we'll go apply modifiers, export again, and then boom. Alrighty, so now once you have your model exported into Godot, let's go see how it all went. So I'm just gonna save, and boom. So now our model is in Godot. If you look into your folder, as you can see, the cat.glb file is now here. So now I'm going to double click the model, and boom, here we have our model. So there are a bunch of things we can do with this, of course, and yeah, so what I usually like to do with Blender models when I export them into Godot is I like to right click on their file, go new inherited scene, and then boom, now we have a new inherited scene with our model here. So this is my cat model, and basically what I do now with this is I just do whatever edits I want to the model, like if I want to change its materials, or if I just want to change the, you know, just change certain elements of the object, you know, so yeah. So if you ever want to change up your model that you made in Blender in Godot, just right click on it and then go create new inherited scene. And then whenever you're done making those changes, just go save and then save the model as a normal scene and boom. So now we have cat.tscn. So now when it comes to adding your Blender model into a Godot scene, it's as simple as just drag and dropping, of course. And there we go. So now we have our cat in the scene. I might actually have this as like a decoration on the table. My throat is pretty dry right now, but I'm trying to get through it. There we go, there is our cat. And yeah. So that there is how you export Blender models into Godot. And I hope you guys did learn something from that. Alrighty, so now that I've shown you guys how to actually export Blender models into Godot, now let's get to making functioning keys that we can use to open up doors. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new 3D scene, go 3D scene, and we're going to call this node here key. Alrighty, so also I'm going to actually rename this, not rename it, I'm going to change the type of this node here. So right click on your parent node and go change type and change it to a static body 3D. The reason as to why we're changing it to a static body 3D is so then we can actually interact with and pick up the key. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a mesh instance. And this mesh instance 3D I'm going to make a cylinder. And this is going to be like the base of the key. So now I'm just going to change up its height. So I'm going to turn on the lighting preview so then I can actually see what I'm doing here. Turn down the radial segments. There we go. Alrighty, so this here is going to be like the base of our key. And then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to add another mesh instance. And I'm going to make this a box mesh. And there we go. So now this is starting to look a bit more like a key. And then we'll just duplicate that, and then just size it down. There we go. Alrighty, so this here is going to be my key. And yeah, I think it looks pretty basic and neat. And there we go. So that there is going to be my key that I will use for this tutorial. And I am going to apply some new materials to it as well, but first off I am going to press Ctrl S to save the key. Make sure that you do save your scenes and save them into your scenes folder. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to duplicate the flashlight material. I'm going to call this key. And then I'm going to apply this to the key here, this new key material that I've just made. And then I'm going to change the main color of it, the albedo color, to like a gold. There we go. So now we have a key. Alrighty, so one thing which I actually forgot to do as well is I need to add a collision shape 3D to this. So we're going to right click on the parent object, go add child node, and then add collision shape 3D. And boom, so I'm going to do a box, and I'm just going to stretch it out and scale it out so then it is good for our key. And there we go. So now this will allow our player to actually be able to interact with our key. And then speaking of interacting with the key, let's now actually make the script so then the player can interact with the key. So what you want to do is you want to select your parent object of the key. And then on the inspector where it says script, click on empty, go new script. And then I'm just going to call this pickup key. There we go. And then just scripts. and boom. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the starter stuff here. We're going to write func interact, so this is going to be the interact function. And the reason as to why we're calling it func interact is because in the raycast script we made not all that long ago, I think in part 2 or something like that, we made it so then when you interact with objects, you know, it is good to have that interact method there, since that is what's used in the raycast script. So make sure that you do call your main interaction method in the key script interact. That is important. Or just call it whatever your main interact method is called in your raycast script. So yeah. But anyways, what we're going to do here is when the player interacts with the key, what will happen is it will simply just disappear. That's it. When the player interacts with the key, it will go away. And I'll show you guys why we're doing it this way in a bit. So yeah, it's literally just as simple as that. Just when the player interacts with the key, boom, it just disappears. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our door. And then here's what we're going to do next with our door. So we're going to create a new script on the parent object of our door. So where it says empty, go create new script. And we're going to call this door parent. And then we're going to save this script in the scripts folder. There we go. And so what we're going to do with this is we're actually going to add in a public variable. Now, if you use Unity, usually how you do it is you would usually go like, say, for example, public, game object, blah, 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 right? That's usually how you do it. But in Godot, this is how we do it. We go at export var, and then this will be for our key, and then static body 3D. And the reason as to why we're doing the type of this as a static body 3D is because that is the type that our key's parent object is. So we've got a public variable here for the key, and it is for the parent object of the key, the static body 3D. And so, yeah, there's a reason as to why we're going to have this here. You guys will see in a sec. So that is pretty much it for this door parent script. There's not really much else to do for it now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our normal door script. Actually, no, wait a second. Sorry, back on the door parent script, actually, there is one other variable that we do need, and that is the locked variable. So we're going to go at export var locked, and then this will be a bool. So if you want your doors, if you want any of your doors to be locked or not locked, just make sure that this locked variable is either checked true or not true. So if it's checked true, then that means that that door will be locked and you need a key in order to open it. But if it's checked as not locked, so if it's false, then that means that you don't need a key in order to open a door. So basically, with your doors that are unlocked already, you won't even need to fill in this key variable here. You can leave that just completely empty. But with your locked doors, whatever door is locked, make sure you fill that in with the key that you want to open that door with. I will show you guys how to actually do it in a bit, but yeah. Alrighty, so what we're going to do here is, in the normal door script, in the if interactable equals to true line, we're going to go write end, and then locked equals to false. So the door will only be interacted with if it is, oh wait, sorry, there's something that I need to do. I need to go get underscore parent, and then get underscore parent again, and the reason as to why we're doing this in front of the locked variable is because our normal door script is on the static body 3D part of our door, and then 2 parents above is our door's parent script. So what we're doing is we're essentially getting the top parent of our door, and then we're getting the locked variable from it, and if locked equals to false and interactable equals to true with the door as well, then the player can actually interact with and open the door. But what happens if the door is locked? Well, here's what will happen. So if the player interacts with the door, so if, and then get parent dot locked equal to false. So if locked equals to false, and then what we need to do is we need to then get this to dot get parent. These two get parent lines again. Go get parent dot get parent, and then the key. And if key equals to null, Oh, and by the way, this locked equals to false should actually be true. Sorry, this shouldn't say false, it should say true. And then so if the key equals to null, meaning if it's been picked up, then what will happen is locked will equal to false. Sorry, I meant getParent.getParent.locked will equal to false. So yeah. So basically what will happen is if the player interacts with the door and it's locked and they have picked up the key, then that means that, well, they can unlock the door. And then when the door is unlocked, if interactable equals to true and locked equals to false, then they can open the door. So with the key here, why is it when it's equal to null, the key variable when it's equal to null, when we can unlock the door? Well, the reason as to why is because when we pick up the key, it fully gets removed from the scene, meaning that the key variable of the door script, of the door parent script, will be null. So if the key has been picked up, meaning that it's null, then the door will be unlocked. So yeah, and that there is pretty much how the door script works. So now here is what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our main level, and then we're actually going to now drag in the key somewhere into the level. So what I might do is I'll use the main door here as an example. I'll just use this first main door here as an example. So I'm going to make this locked. I'm going to lock this door. And then I'm actually going to add a new table, so I'm just going to duplicate this current table over here and then just move it right here. And then I'm going to add a key on top of it. Where is our key? Where's my... There it is. Alright. So now we're going to add in the key. Going to scale it. And boom, there we go. So now we have ourselves a key. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to select our door again, and we want to fill in this key variable here with this key, since this is the key that we want to control this door. So whatever key is controlling your door, right? If you want a door of yours to be locked and you want a particular key to be able to open it up, just, you know, assign that particular key into the door's variable, and then boom. And then make sure the door is locked as well. And yeah. So overall now, this door should be all locked and ready to go, and this key should be ready to be picked up. And how about, without further ado, let's actually give it a test and see if it all works out. Alrighty, so here we are in our scene. We're just quickly waking up. And there we go. So now let's try open up the door, and as you can see we can't actually open it since it's locked. And we'll actually add an animation as well, so then we can actually tell if it's locked or not, so then there's like a little bit of movement with the door. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up this key, boom, key has been picked up, and boom, now we can interact with the door. So that there, guys, is how you actually add in just keys, which then you can just simply pick up and then interact with your door. So yeah. Alrighty, so what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to do a locked animation for the door. So when the player is trying to open up the door, then they can tell if it's locked or not. So yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the doors animation player, and then I'm going to create a new animation, and I'm just going to call this locked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my doors hinge, and then I'm just going to like set the beginning keyframe. So we're going to set the beginning rotation keyframe. And then what I'm going to do is at about the 0.2 mark would be alright. So at the 0.2 mark in my animation, I'm just going to rotate my door a tiny bit. Maybe like -2 or something. And then we'll save the keyframe. And then we'll do the same thing again at -4, and we'll just put it at 2. Save again, and then go to 0.6, and then just set it back to 0. And let's just see how this looks. I'm going to change the animation length to 0.6 as well. So let's check this out. Yeah, it looks alright. Let's change the interpolation mode though. Alrighty, so this is what will happen when our player tries to open up a locked door. So basically the door will like jitter like that a bit, like the player is trying to open it, but it's locked, so yeah. So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go into our door script. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to do if interactable equals to true and locked equals to true. So if the door can be interacted with, and it's also, oh wait a second, I just realized I did something here. There we go, that's all back to normal now. So if interactable equals to true and the door is locked, here is what will happen. So interactable will equal to false. And then the animation player, so I'm just going to copy this line of code here, paste that here, and then I'm going to change this play line from closed to locked, since we want the locked animation to play. And then since the locked animation goes for about 0.6 seconds, we're going to do this. So we're going to go await get underscore tree dot create timer, and then this timer will last for about 0.7 seconds, so less than a second. And then what will happen is then the player can interact with the door again. And yeah, that should be it. So now let's go check this out. We'll go to our main scene, and then let's test this out. Alrighty, so now if I try open up the door, as you can see, the locked animation plays. So yeah, that is pretty much the door done. You know, that's pretty much it, you know. So when you have your doors, you know, you can have them locked or unlocked, and you can have, you know, a particular key that is needed in order to open it up. So this door here, for example, is currently locked. I can't open it. Once I pick up this key, I can then open up the door. And yeah. And then with this door here, we can just open this up automatically pretty much, since this isn't actually a locked door. This is an unlocked door already, so yeah. Alright, so one other thing I'm going to show you guys how to do today is I'm going to show you guys how to actually add sounds to your door, so then when you open and close your door, you have your open and close sounds, and also a locked sound as well, so when you try open a door but it's locked, then you have the locked sound. So let's get to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our door, and I've already got 3 door sounds here. I've got the door close sound, and then I've got the door locked sound, and then last but not least, the door open sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to add all these into the scene. So with our door, I'm going to go to the hinge here, and I'm going to add a child node, and it is going to be an audio stream player 3D. So I'm going to move this into the middle of the door. I'm going to increase its max distance by a bit so it can be heard over a little bit of a distance. And if you want to see how far your distance is, just zoom out from your object a bit, and you should see this orange circle which determines the distance of your sound. So if I set it to 10, then as you can see, the circle goes a bit smaller. So I'm going to rename this to open sound. So this will be my door's open sound, or I'll just call it open actually. And with the stream here, where it says stream and it's empty, in the inspector you want to click on this, and then you want to find your door's open sound, and then boom. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the close sound, so I'm going to duplicate the open sound, and then I'm going to call this close sound. And then I'm going to change the audio stream here to close, door close. And then we're going to copy that again, and then we're going to go locked this time. So this is for the locked door sound. And boom. So now we have all our 3 sounds in the scene. We have the open, closed, and locked sound. So now here's what we're going to do. So go to your door script. So whenever the player opens up the door, if the player is closing the door, what you want to do here is you want to go... Actually, wait a second. With your sounds here, make them a child object of the static body 3D. And the reason as to why is because it will make it easier for us to actually access them with our door script. Since if you have like a script attached to an object and then you have child objects of that object, then what you can do is with that script you can actually like just access the child objects of that object much more easier. So yeah, that's why I'm making the audio stream players here a child object of the static body 3D of the door. So yeah, so when opened is equal to false, what will happen is we'll go $close.play, and this will play the close sound. And then if open equals to true, we'll then just copy and paste that line of code and then replace close with open. And there we go. And then again, if the door is locked, what will happen is locked will play. And boom. And then also when the player unlocks the door as well, I'll actually have the locked sound play to make it like, you know, the player is unlocking the door. So yeah, so then we'll have lock.play here again, and boom. That is how we do our sounds for the door. Alrighty, so let's actually test the doors out now in the game, and we'll see how the sounds work. Alrighty, so here we are. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try open up this door. And as you can see, the locked sound plays. If we pick up the key, then boom, now we can open and close the door. Alright guys, so that's pretty much the end of this tutorial. I would go on for a little bit longer, but I have been quite sick. Alrighty, so I know I said it's just the end of the tutorial just before, but I do have one more thing that I want to do, and that's how to pick up sound to the keys, and also to the flashlight as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the main level scene, and I'm going to create 2 new audio stream players. So we're going to call one keys pickup, just call it that, and then we'll duplicate that, and then this will be just a regular object pickup sound, which I'm going to use for like the flashlight and maybe other objects as well that we do throughout these tutorial parts. So with the keys pickup, I'm going to of course fill that in with the keys pickup audio stream. So I'm going to go to where the stream is empty, quick load, and then keys pickup, and then with the OBG pickup I'm going to do the exact same thing, but just get the object pickup script, and then boom, we're all good to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the script view, we're going to go to where the pickup key script is, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go get underscore node, and then root, and then plus get underscore tree, and then this will get the current scene, the name of that scene, and plus again, another bracket, and then we'll go keys underscore pickup. And if you're wondering why we're adding the pickup sounds to the normal scene and not just making them child objects of, let's say, for example, the flashlight and the key themselves, is because, well, when we pick up the key and the flashlight, it gets queued, it gets removed from our scene. So then that would mean the sounds would then get removed from the scene as well. So that's why we've got to have the sounds separate from the objects. So yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the keys pickup sound, and then we're going to play it. And then boom. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing with the, where is it? The pickup flashlight script. So I'm just going to copy this part of the code. Go pick up flashlight. Boom. And then I'm going to rename this from keys pickup to OBJ pickup. And boom, now the pickup sound should work. So now if we actually play the game, let's see. So yeah guys, this is the project that we've got so far. As you can see, we've got a room that we can walk around in. We can also sprint. And yeah. We can also pick up a flashlight, of course, and as you just heard, that there was the flashlight pickup sound. We can then use it, and then we can pick up the key. As you just heard there, that was the key pickup sound, and then we can unlock the door. So yeah, there's quite a bit we've done so far in these 5 parts. I do feel like I could have done more, maybe, but, you know, hopefully you all have enjoyed this tutorial series so far. Do be prepared for more to come in future parts. I don't know how many parts of this there's going to be, but right now it looks like there's probably going to be 20 or so parts, so do be prepared for that. And yeah, hopefully you all did enjoy, and I hope you all have a good rest of your day as well. So I already did a recap on what we've done in this tutorial earlier, so I'm not going to do another recap, but yeah, we've done quite a bit in this part. And yeah, so if you did enjoy, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.